Okay.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Keeping It Real Conversations with Sunshine show. Again, I am your host, Camila, aka Sunshine. Today is Sunday, August 22nd of 2021. This year is going by so fast. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do so, like and share. Again, is the name of the show, Keeping It Real Conversations with Sunshine. We are currently live on my Facebook page, which is Sunshine Camila, Kamela. We are live on Spotify, Groove Radio, Detroit.com, of course, YouTube, Twitch, and Mixcloud. I am excited for the guest that I have today. Well, I'm excited about every guest that I have. And before I get into that, of course, the motto of the show is I believe in 6 degrees of separation. You are one person away, one advice away, one help away from where you need to be in your destiny. So I said all of that to say, I usually go into, I tell you how I know the person. So this young lady, oh my gosh, it has been umpteen years now. I currently have moved to Huntsville, Alabama in 2005. My first job in Huntsville, Alabama was at a call center. I guess they call it West Corporation.
Yeah.
And this is where I met this young lady, and I think I was there probably a year and a half, maybe, if that. But we're gonna welcome, what do we say? Do we say Mrs. or how you want to go with your name?
Just Donnesia is fine. Miss Donnesia. Niecy, you know me, we go back.
Yes. So I called her Niecy there, of course.
Yep.
And we were on the same customer service line for a minute, and then she went to what they call like the front desk.
Podium.
Yes. So
yeah,
we sat in the same row, taking calls.
Yes.
For Secure Horizon and Pacific Care for a minute. And when we used to get bored, we had a game that we would tell a story and somebody would add on to the story. We were there for hours. Mm-hmm. And we had to do something to entertain ourselves while we were taking calls. So we say. So this is where we became like family. And eventually her brother came, and they were my brother and sister away from my brother and sister.
Oh, wow.
Hello, Michael, if you are around.
I hope he jumped on.
I hope so too. So we're going to jump right into it. We have said the history of how I know her. Like I said, this was a friendship developed way in 2005, and it is now 2021.
Yes.
I moved away in 2014. I actually left that job, and I believe sometime in 2006 for Toyota. And we have been keeping in touch off and on, or watching each other on social media. And we're going to get into the balance of her life.
Okay.
So she wears many hats as well.
Many.
And her niche is, as we say, the stream of income. And so we're going to get into that.
Okay.
So the balancing of the many hats that you wear, let's start right there.
Wow. So first off, I didn't realize we've been friends for 16 years. Like, that's crazy to me. Mm-hmm. 16 years to hear you recant it. Like, you're absolutely right. So many people became family in that work environment. And it's kind of surreal when you think about it, because, during that time we were adults, we all had families and lives and things like that, but we just there's no way I could have seen 16 years into the future and know I'd still be connected to these people. And to see so many of them go on to be great, just like yourself, myself, our fellow coworkers, like I follow a lot of them still, and a lot of greatness came from that time in our lives. Mm-hmm. So that I'm just trying to sit in that for a minute. That's crazy. And it's a testament to the grace of God, because honestly, that's the balance. That's my balance. I cannot take any credit for the strength or just the fortitude I have to wear all the hats that I wear. I think we as Black women, that's in our DNA, in a sense. We kind of we get it done. Yeah. And so first off, giving honor to God on this churchy Sunday. Let me go on and be the church girl I am a little bit. But in all seriousness, yes, God is certainly my source of strength. Wearing all the hats and balancing it, I think that I've always kind of been a multitasker, just in my personality. And I think it lended itself to being at West, that was a big component of our job too. So having to do more than one thing at once, kind of keeping all the plates in the air. Some tips that I can say is just to be present. I've had to learn that with what I'm doing. If I focus in on what it is that I'm doing and I try and be present in every moment, I can kind of see what affects the next thing. And so that helps to keep everything balanced. How is, taking this position going to affect my schedule, going to affect my children's schedule, going to affect how many events I can do. All of these things are interconnected. And so you just have to make sure that the way you stack your tasks or the way you use your gifts and things like that, that they all kind of benefit one another in some shape, form, fashion. And so that creates somewhat of a balance. Also, just being very intentional. No one thing, even though they have their hierarchy on your list of importance or priority for the day, the month, the year, no one thing is bigger than the other. Like I said, if they're all interconnected and something fails, something else is going to suffer. And so keeping the balance for me is just remembering that, and then also giving myself space for where I'm inevitably going to drop the ball. Like, it's not all going to get built in one day. It's not all going to get done in one day. So that helps you to keep perspective. So as you build and you interconnect things, you also leave space for, okay, if this goes wrong, then I can jump in with this. And so I don't know. I think a part of that is just like people that have that kind of brain and make that work. That's not everyone's approach. And on the outside, it can look very chaotic, but on the inside, things are getting done, and everything that you touch, you're able to affect it and affect it positively. And so, yeah, that's kind of how the balancing act kind of works.
Yes. So if memory serves me right, you are a PK kid as well, right?
I am a PK, myself and my 3 brothers.
And so I remember we having conversations about that in the role in the church, as well as your mom. And that in itself is a super hat right there. So again, the importance of balance is actually an understatement, because like you said, you do so many things and you're so many things to other people, that again, we have to balance everything out, make sure our schedule, make sure it's important to do yourself. We can't forget that.
For sure.
Because if you're constantly giving out and you're not being replenished, then there's a chance of as they say, hospitalization. Your body shuts down, you forget things, you're off your tilt, and so we don't want to forget ourselves in important of dividing our time with everything that we do on a daily basis.
Right, that's true. And I'm so grateful that over time, even looking back, like as a child, I've always had people in my village that would support the way I move as well. And a lot of that gets left out of self-care. You think self-care is just you, but part of self-care is surrounding yourself with people that are careful with you also, that are gracious to you also. So when you drop the ball, inevitably, as we all do, or as things need another set of hands, another set of feet, another set of eyes, keep that padding of people around you that really want the best for you. They understand, they have the same goals as you, and they want nothing more than to see you reach your goal. So I know without the help of God in my village, there would be no balance. Easy answer, there would be no balance.
And that, I'm glad you brought that up, because you know, a lot of people might not have the same type of home environment. Mm-hmm. And so they struggle in certain areas with not having a village.
True.
Good thing of being raised in a village, this is something that we automatically sometimes seek for because we know it helped us.
Right.
And so I'm glad you brought that up, because you can't be at every recital and every moment that's important to your child when you're trying to make sure that they have food on the table,
Sure.
things of that nature. So I'm glad you brought that up. The other thing was from West, we all have taken different pathways, but yet and still we're still chipping at the goal, the main goal of being successful in whatever is in our mind and our heart to be successful.
Right.
And one thing that I noticed the first time, I believe that you were already kind of making your niche with planning when we were at West, if I'm not mistaken.
That's true. That's true.
And so I want you to get into that, how that came about.
Wow. So in 2005, I was about 3 years shy of going on and launching the business as a business, but I always had a love for planning. And I remember telling my folks, you know, and it was time to choose that goal for college and what were you going to study and all of that. And I remember saying how much I liked weddings. I remember asking, like, is there any kind of curriculum or any kind of course or something I can take? And there just wasn't at the time. We couldn't wrap our minds around what that looked like. I've always been a lover of fashion and things like that. So I ended up taking that route instead and going for family consumer sciences to Alabama A&M, the Alabama A&M University. And that just kind of, it kept me in the design realm, but it wasn't really scratching the itch, you know? And so I've naturally kind of been a connector in my family, being the only girl, or even just my personality or the role that I assumed in my family was kind of like, you know, I kind of did the planning, honestly. If I think back on it really, really hard, I kind of always was that person that, like, hey, what are we doing for this holiday? Or where do you want to go out to eat? Or whatever. I kind of created these spaces for gathering all the time. And so I think that's where it originally kind of came from. I started to talk more about it in my circle again. We're talking about that village thing again. It was actually in my church. A couple was getting married, and I remember just talking with them about it, and she was expressing the stress of it. And again, I wasn't a business at that time, but she was just like, I need some help. And so I helped her with that. And I just decided in my mind at that time, like, I don't need a course. I don't need a book. I'm going to just do me and see what happens. I literally went on Vistaprint, made my own little cards or whatever, and I put them up. We had a business board at our church where everyone who was a business owner could put their business card. So I just randomly just put my business card up there, and it literally just went from there. And people ask me, or they've asked me over the years, you know, how did you get into this? Or I'm thinking about, I got an idea. How do I get started? And my answer is, sounds cliche as ever, but it is true. Just start. Like, just start doing it. As I went along, of course, the learning came with doing it. And we call it OJT. You remember West? Mm-hmm. Got that good on the job training.
On the job training.
Yeah. But it really was just something in my heart. It was something I naturally kind of gravitated to doing, and I just started doing it. And it also speaks to, I guess, writing the vision, being a PK and delving into what we know about faith and the word. It says to write the vision and make it plain, and it's something about when you put it down. I guess when I made that card and I made it official and I gave it a name, that was something God could move with. I guess he saw my commitment to it, and I'm grateful that he did. So 13 years later now, almost 14 years, doing planning and stuff like that. And I remember our conversations too. You and me, myself and LaShondra, I don't know if you remember her, LaShondra Sullivan, and she's gone on and done great things, and she's got a business as well as several other people. But we do catch up sometimes, and we talk about those talks that we had at West. A lot of visions were spoken in that place, and a lot of that stuff, gratefully, we've been around to see it manifest.
Absolutely. And what is the name of your business?
It's called Heavenly Engagements.
And for those, the sad thing, she's not here in Detroit. She's actually in Alabama. But
I would be in a heartbeat, though. I would come in a heartbeat.
I know, right? Yeah, so I remember what used to motivate me at the time. I was kind of newlywedish when we were at West, and I remember what motivated me the most was I was around a lot of college students, and I'm still finding my niche of what do you want to do. Right. I knew getting a job was the easy part because I was skilled in so many things, but I still didn't know who Camila was.
Right.
I knew who I was as a wife, who I wanted to be as a wife, a sister, a helper, whoever, but I didn't know for sure what I really wanted to do. So me having conversations with you guys made me like, okay, if you don't have a chance or time to go back to school, what are you going to do? Right. And so this began to develop with iron sharpens iron.
Absolutely.
And so now I get to see the manifestation of these conversations, even to some of the people I went to college with, that they became exactly what they said they wanted to do. Yes. And so that goes to me of all I have to do is speak it and it'll happen. And I'm all like, now I've been in church for a long time. Sometimes, the waiting process is the part that you be like, you know what, I'm about to give up. I'm about to try something different. I never saw this.
Right.
At all.
Mm-hmm.
At all.
Right.
But in the, as we say, in the ministry is not always in the four walls. Mm-hmm. So here we get a chance to witness ministry connections of helping one another and speaking those things, encouraging each other. I know people that did this and that. I need you to connect with this person, and then here voila, manifestation. And so I wanted people to hear that yes, it might have took a minute, but you're still doing your dream. And the part that got me is just start.
Just start. Just start. And it's amazing, we overcomplicate what's so simple. Like the word tells us to speak, it tells us to write, it tells us to do what we naturally do. And I think it is that we're looking for something bigger, grander, and all the, these signs and things that are supposed to happen. But really, it's just the faith and the obedience in action. And like you said, all of us went on to be exactly that because that's who we are. There's things that people want to be, and they position themselves to look like something that they want to be. And then there's others that they do it. They wake up and think about it. They can't stop. Like they breathe what they are. And there's a difference between, position and purpose. There's people that want the position and they're going to, put themselves in places to be something. But there's others, and I believe a lot of us we are just purposed to do these things. And it didn't matter if we chose to do other things for a while. It didn't matter if we moved miles and miles away from each other. It didn't matter if it took 16 years. Your purpose doesn't age, you do.
You're right, exactly.
So the God-given things that he breathed in us to do, they came to pass because they were always meant to.
I see Michael just shared the video. Hi, Michael.
I think that's Big Michael. I think that's my dad.
Oh, well, we got to find little Michael.
Yeah, we got to get L on. I don't know what he's doing right now. He's a busy guy on Sundays, though.
Let's see. So we have Heavenly Engagements.
Yes.
And I've seen some of the photos. Is little Mike your photographer?
No, so we have worked together before. I've had the working with several photographers here in the city. He did photos for me before, but the ones you've seen recently, we haven't been able to work together recently. But over the years, absolutely yes.
Okay, so I wanted to bring out that sometimes, you know, we're looking out for the help, and the help is in the house.
Come on.
And so I want people to understand, even in this, God told me, before you start trying to go out to all of these different people, start in your inner circle, because you got some dope people in your circle.
That part. And
then so in the circle,
you're in the wrong circle. Yeah.
And so it goes hand in hand. You know, as they say, you know, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. And next thing you know is you're plugged where you're supposed to be plugged. I don't have to, you know, some things, as we say, we get an arm and a leg on charges because they don't know you, or, you know, things of that nature. And plus, you know their work. And so you can't just connect with anybody. You got to know the work ethics. They got to connect with you. You know, I don't need to keep coming behind you. Are you on your schedule? Are you coming? You know you're late, you know.
That's so true. That's so true.
So I'm glad that, you know, all the people that you connect with that are like-minded people, to not only make sure that you're successful, your image is outstanding, and that even in the people that I know still live there, they have talked about you and your business.
I'm so grateful. And I can't help but give glory to God. I know that that was part of the reason I named my business Heavenly Engagements. I knew going in that I had no training in this. This was a gift from God. And I recognized that early. And I kind of stamped that on the vision for the business by naming it that. And I'm grateful that he's been faithful to his gift, because I realized it was not mine at all. I didn't go and learn any of this. I learned as time went on, but definitely starting up, it was just a step out on faith. And so you're absolutely right. And then I want to say also to the circle part, the work has to be done first, right? You have to build a circle to have that sphere of influence and understanding of who's around you and who you can work with, who you can't, who goes where. And so there's a little bit of work to that. It doesn't just appear. And I don't want people that don't have a circle yet to feel like, oh, well, she can do it because she has those people. No, there were some years I had to build that network. And that comes from getting outside of your circle. You have to put yourself in some uncomfortable situations. You have to meet new people. You have to try. And some of the people fall away, and the ones that work, you know, they stay with you or support you, or you exchange business and ideas and virtue with. So there are situations where, you know, you may not be born into a circle or a village, or it may not naturally connect. Like I feel like we really naturally connected in West, but all things work together, you know, even outside of West. There were situations and times I had to reach outside of myself and try. I had to put myself in some new scenarios. I had to go some places I hadn't been before. I had to put myself out there and talk to people and kind of create what it was that I wanted to build. So that's important too, just to keep in mind.
So when a client comes to you and they said, well, of course, every wedding is different. You know, you have a different budget, a different theme, and things of that nature. So with that being said, clients can come to you and say, well, I have an idea that I need. And are you birthing it? Or are you just going by, you know, their budget and trying to make it as close as possible to what they want?
Yeah. So I cover the whole range. I've had brides that come in with a clear-cut vision. They know exactly what they want, beginning to end, and we collaborate and execute that goal. There's others that come in like, girl, I never even been to a wedding. Like, I have no idea what I want. I didn't have dreams as a little kid. I don't know. And then, I get to kind of be creative in those spaces. And honestly, I really, really love and enjoy those spaces a little bit more. So it's very, I don't know, there's a wide range when it comes to brides or just clients in general. You'll have the ones that come in and they kind of have an idea, but they're open to yours. And then there's one, there's ranges. The spectrum swings both ways. But I think overall, you said something earlier that's very, very true. And in business, I think we forget that as much as we might be sought out as someone to work with, we have to also determine if that client is right to work with us. Because there's a lot of personality, there's a lot of creativity, there's a lot of time spent in what it is that I do, especially. I'll spend a year and a half to 2 years with someone. And so if we're not compatible and that's not going to fit, then it's going to flow into how we do business and ultimately into the outcome. And so it's very important. And that's something I learned over the years as well. Sometimes you've got to walk away from some clients, or you just got to make a decision about what it is that you bring to the table, as well as they sit down and interview to see what you bring. So it's kind of a dance there. But I think that my psychology background actually comes into play because I went back to school as well, and that's what I studied. And so understanding people, wanting to understand people, looking for the why of things, all of that ties into what it is that I do as well. And I think it kind of separates me from some other people that do the same things.
So on I guess on the professional side of it, what would be the ideal time frame that you would want to work with planning from start to finish?
If I was giving advice, I would say a year to 2 years. It depends on what your event requires. If we're talking about a full-size wedding with all the trimmings and things like that, you definitely need about 18 months. It can be done in less. I've done it in less, but it's definitely something that can be really stressful. So it just depends on the resources and what the client wants. If they're looking to do something full scale and they want to reduce their stress, I would definitely say 18 months at a minimum.
Okay. What about, so what do you do? I know you're dealing with weddings and things of that nature. I am sure that you have encountered some bridezillas.
Yes, ma'am, I have.
So how do you deal with that?
Oh, goodness. So I think also part of balance is understanding that you're not always going to get it right, even if you are right, and times when you're not right. So there's scenarios. Honestly, I will say in general, weddings are stressful. They say two of the biggest things that show you your family, your friends are weddings and funerals. And so when you're dealing with someone's personal life, you're dealing with, two people joining their lives together, you're dealing with blending of families, things like that. You have to recognize as a planner that I'm already dealing with one of the biggest days in someone's life, one of the biggest moments in someone's life. And there's a lot of things that run into that, family and friends and things like that can stress a bride out, make her very, very anxious. She's on full display in everybody's, eye for the day. And just understanding that going in, you already give a lot of grace for things that could be really confrontational or really difficult conversations, things like that. And a lot of times that can push somebody over the edge. So if you understand that, then you know not to take things personally, right? There's been situations where people have gotten on a personal level, but I think good old West has ingrained in all of us how to deal with a disgruntled customer.
Yes.
And then also, like I said, just having the personality, being that we recognized already that this is purpose work. Part of me was already crafted to deal with different personalities and things like that, because this gift wouldn't work without that component. And so understanding people, being able to give grace and have capacity for things. And then even in moments where, it just doesn't work out. I didn't get it right that day, or me and that person just didn't mesh, and having to disconnect from certain scenarios and things like that for one reason or another. You just understand as a business person that every shot doesn't go in the basket, and then in the moments where you drop the ball, you just have to make it right. You have to make it right as best you can. You have to give grace for the other person and for yourself. And, make sure that your brand is built in a way where you can recover. Like you said, it's flattering, and I'm very, very grateful for good speech around what it is that I do and what I represent. But you have to build that, over time. You have to make sure your reputation is such that when you drop the ball, it's not, oh God, end of the world,
Mm-hmm.
Nisi had a bad day, or, Heavenly Engagements didn't get it right this one time. But if you have a reoccurrence of that, that's something different. So just take pride in your brand, make sure that you do the work to give yourself space for when you can't always get it right, and then also when there's people you have to walk away from, do it graciously. Understand that every client isn't yours. And those situations, they definitely just come with the territory.
And this is also a point that I want to get into. Is some things is ingrained into us as we grow as a person. And then there's things that we learn from experiences that we had with previous jobs.
Right.
I've had a background of almost 18 years in customer service, one way or another, whether it's on the phone, in person, whatever. It becomes a part of you that at the end of the day, you'll always remember me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even when I go back to people I run into since elementary, you're still the same. You're just bigger. Okay. You still have the same personality. Okay. It is what it is. But right. This is, especially in your line of work, it is some things that's just us. And then there's things that were added to us by our jobs, the schooling we go to, and things of that nature. So remember, people, that every job or every experience you have is still taking something from it as a lesson. You can add it to yourself or something you want to take away. And so remember that we're not all Superman. We're not all Superwoman. Even though I have Wonder Woman tattooed on me, I'm still not her. So you have to learn the lessons and keep going. So something else that caught my attention about you, I said, okay, she's always been beautiful. She's always been fashionable. And I seen this picture in this little black dress.
Yes, ma'am.
And I said, wait a minute. What is this? What's going on here? I said, wait a minute. I need to ask some questions. What is this? So what is my little black dress going on here?
Well, over the years of doing events for people, like I told you, my favorite clients are the ones that let me create.
Okay.
And so being that is something that I've done from a very early age. I'm literally a creative. I've tried to run from it, but it is what it is. I got kind of burnt out for a while, and I needed some inspiration, and I tapped into the fact that I was annoyed because there's things I enjoy doing, and looking around my city, sometimes I just don't see it. I was just like, oh, I would love to go to this, or man, if this was here, I would pay for it. And so thinking about those things, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to plan another thing for anyone else until I get out of me what's in me. Business, Heavenly Engagements, birthed its own event. And that's the name of the event. It's called The Little Black Dress. And it is it's a cocktail dinner series that I threw everything I love at it. Fashion, great music, great food, live music. That's one of my things. I grew up in a musical family. My dad is a whole band director and, composer and things like that. And so that stuff is ingrained in me. And that's something that I would enjoy. And so I said, I just want to put together an event that I love, that I would pay to go to. And I hope that other people would see it and enjoy it too. It literally was just for whoever likes the things I like. And so I put that together in 2018 and I launched it the year of my 10 years in business. So it was a celebration for 10 years, but it was also the launching of that event series. And I continued it. And I was able to do 2 a year until COVID stopped everything. And so I started it up this year, started back this year. And in about a month or so, there'll be another one. And I'm just grateful because it ended up being, so it is under Heavenly Engagements, right? That's the actual name of the event. And I gave it its own page and all that to track everything. But it kind of became its own brand. Like it just blew up on its own. And I was really excited because, I didn't know, I had no idea how it would be received. I didn't know if it was something that would be able to continue. I saw it in my head and in my heart as a series, but there were no guarantees. I just kind of said, I'm gonna keep doing it. And I hope people,
right. Mm-hmm.
And it completely took a life of its own. And so that is another now brand under the Heavenly Engagements umbrella. And I have another series I'm getting ready to start that I haven't even spoken on yet. But the Little Black Dress has been a lot of fun. It wasn't necessarily designed to take on what it took on, but it's been a great tool for connecting people. I think one of the biggest compliments I got from a Little Black Dress was one day I was shopping, I was in Burlington. And the lady that checked me out, and then right when she was getting ready to give me my stuff, she was like, Little Black Dress. And I was like, yeah. And she said, that's where I know you from. And I was like, oh, wow. I said, have you ever been? She was like, I went to the one at Kona Grill. I said, wow, that was the very first one. She said, do you know I went to that event alone? And I didn't know if I would know anybody. And I met a lady there that night, and she is now my best friend. Girl, I could have cried standing there in that line. Like, that was amazing. And so I think that understanding that people can just connect, it doesn't have to be, is it for married couples? Is it for women only? Is it for men only? Is it for this group, that group? Things can get really cliquey like that around here. And so knowing that I was able to create a space where people, just people, mm-hmm. come and enjoy and make it whatever they want to make it. It was so fulfilling to hear that. Because I think, especially for singles, there's a lot of times here in our city, it's a very settled city, and it's difficult to find spaces where you can just go as a single person and enjoy yourself. And so many people have said that, like, I don't even feel like I need to get my friends together or make it a couples night or anything like that, which all of that is fine to do. But it was so great to hear so many people like, this is something I want to be there, even if I have to go by myself. That's how much. So I'm really glad that I've been able to connect people, connect businesses. It's been a lot of business collaboration through this event. And also the opportunity to give back, because each event gives back a portion of the proceeds to a charity of my selection. And so I'm grateful for it. It's been a lot of fun, going on 3 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm saying, if we never talk again, I am definitely proud of you, of the woman you have become. Because I remember our conversations of, what am I gonna do? The marriage questions and this and that. And at the time, of course, I didn't have kids. And right. So it was amazing to see the transformation. And social media really helped me to do that, to actually watch the development of this butterfly really become something great that in any environment, most times when we look at butterflies, especially if they are colored, that's the first thing we notice in the environment, is something beautiful like that. And so I am looking at a full butterfly with all her colors that catches my eye to the point of, I need to talk to her. I need to have a moment in her flight to say, I commend you, not only as a Black woman, who's not, as they say, sometimes so demanding that, or in control that it looks flightless. It looks seamlessly, like it's so easy to do. But again, I commend you if no one else ever does. I've seen it from before it happened, and now to actually see manifestation of God's grace on you is awesome.
Wow.
And so I said, let me reach out to her, because that picture that's on the flyer just got me like, what is going on? Because sometimes as a creative person, people don't know this, you still have to have an outlet for yourself. And for me, even doing this and outside of doing the jobs that I do and helping, connecting, I'm doing fashion shows.
Oh, wow.
For myself, not, putting it on, but just being a part of it as the confidence builder, as something different from what I do on the norm.
Right, right.
And so I get to have someone tell me what to do or how to present myself versus me telling somebody else something.
Right,
and so, yes, I think I would love to attend something like that, especially here. I know I have getting some of these questions. Do you actually set up traveling with heavily engagement?
I do. I've done weddings in Texas as well as here in Alabama, and I will travel for events, but that's the extent that I have so far. So that doesn't mean that's the only place I'll go, but that's where I've been. I've been in Houston, I've been in Austin, and then with the Little Black Dress, actually, the first one, I had some folks in Nashville to reach out, and they wanted me to bring the series there. So that was actually the plan in 2020, and then COVID came and just showed out, and so it's still on the books. It's still on the books to take that series and travel with it. But I'll definitely accept clients in other cities as well.
Well, amen. That is good, because again, sometimes when we begin to step outside of the boat, I guess my first sermon was launch out into the deep.
Wow.
Not realizing that I was really talking to myself.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so that was an experience in itself. And
right.
So just the connect of the whole thing of writing a vision and making it plain, speaking those things as though they were.
Right.
When they begin to manifest, sometimes you don't put two and two together that you were already writing it and speaking it. And then when it happened, it's like, did the light bulb just come on?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's true. That's the way God works. Like he'll work it in us first. The words that we have for people, we can't go out and tell them something we don't know. So of course you were speaking to yourself. Of course that was ministering to you first, because that's the way ministry works. So you're speaking out of a true, real place, a true, real experience you had to have with God and sharing that with his people. So yeah, launching out, it sounds easy, but when we get out there and we have to put our own faith out there on the line, that's when it's really real. That's when it's truly you and God, and you give him back what he's put into you. But you and I can attest to the fact that he is faithful. He's faithful to it. He's not going to just put you out there and let you fall.
Exactly. So what do your kids say about, the success of their mom?
Ooh, girl, they don't care about me. They don't, let me not say that. They're honestly my motivation, having those conversations with you back at West and being in the midst of growing my family during that time and being a mom and a working mom and all of that. I had no idea what it would look like. I had no idea how things would come together. But over the years, they have been a big part of what it is that I do, whether it is just them motivating me because I know they're watching. I know what I want see and understand about their capacity in the world. And then also all the way down to right there, picking up a box, lighting a candle, putting the sash on the chair. Like they have been through the whole process right there with me. And I do get feedback sometimes. I feel like they are looking and taking more mental notes than we sit and actually talk about it. But I know how important it is to have something put in a real example in front of you, to have something that you can look back on and say, you know, well, my mom did this or that, my dad did this. And the psychology background in me, of course, you know, we know that we subconsciously do that anyway. We watch, you know, our childhood experiences and we're shaped by a lot of those things. And so understanding that they're seeing me do this and it may or may not resonate with them now, but I know for a fact, like those old folks say, keep on living. I have kept on living long enough to see something that my folks did and to see why now as an adult and the things that manifested them. So I'm hopeful that what they're watching will do the same, that will manifest something positive in their life. And I'm just kind of, you know, I tap in with them every once in a while. They got a little bit of the entrepreneurial bug, all three of them in some shape, form, fashion, and they all have separate gifts of their own too. So yeah, they've been along for the ride and they're absolutely my inspiration. I want nothing more than for them to be proud when they see what I do. And then I also want them to be inspired.
And I think that's very important. A lot of my guests reach back to not only their own children, but children in a community.
Right.
And I think it's very important for children to see what love looks like.
For sure.
Like to go back into the neighbors caring, at those days, I guess the bookmobiles and my first experience, I tell people all the time the difference between where I live and being down there. I honestly never wanted to come move back to Michigan. I didn't. The only reason why I did was because both of my parents were sick. And so I moved, but I never planned to leave Alabama. I loved it that much. Atmosphere of course, Huntsville was constantly growing. When I first moved, I thought the Walmart was the club. But everything else started, you know, building, more restaurants were coming, different things like that. And then I told them the first encounter with Alabama, my neighbor, one of the old neighbors, got on our moving truck and start moving stuff.
Oh, wow.
So we all drew guns, like, bro,
no.
Like we don't do that. What you doing?
Right.
Like, no. This is what we do. And I'm like, you better say something. You almost got shot. And so this particular neighbor, which I thought was just in movies, he would literally every day come and knock on everyone's door. I'm on my way to the store. Do you need something? And we like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, this is what we do. And so the camaraderie of from neighbor to neighbor, I had his aunt was blind. And so he was taking care of her. He made sure our block made sure, I mean, every need was met. And I just thought that was in the movies. And so from people speaking and really don't have no hidden itinerary to the whole situation, I love that. I was not afraid. I must say this. My mom thought me moving to Alabama was the craziest thing because she thought I was going to get lynched.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And so, yeah, she's like, well, you survived all of this and you mean to tell me you going down south and da da da. If you don't get out the movies, woman. But however, I enjoyed the time that I was there. I left. I came there in 2005. I moved back here in 2014. And that is one of the moments that when I do have children, I want my children to experience the South.
Yeah.
And the camaraderie that I met with all of these wonderful beings that I'm still in touch with Nicole Daniels.
Yeah.
Her and go back in this. This is so funny. Her and Terrell were dating at the time.
At best, exactly.
Who are now married, going on 13. No, it might have been that long.
I think it was
years.
I did their wedding.
Are you kidding me?
I did their wedding and their baby shower. Yes.
What?
Yeah, that's fam. Period. They're in
that. Wow. I didn't know that.
Yes.
And so when I left West, and I think I left Toyota, I ended up working at DirecTV. At the time, Nicole was a supervisor at DirecTV.
Yeah.
And so I'm all like, this is crazy. This is like, oh, I'm in here. You know what I'm saying? Like, we sat next to each other for hours.
We did.
Oh my God. The shift that we worked to pretty much the time it opened to the time it closed, we were in there. And so to see them, I think they just celebrated the anniversary not too long ago.
It's in April.
Well, something happened. I don't know if it's somebody's birthday, something.
She had an amazing story she just posted about meeting a young lady. I think they were connected online through a group. Her son's autistic and they have like a support group.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, she met one of the couples that they are connected to through that. And it was a beautiful story, the way she put it out there, the way they met and all of that. They had a great day together. So, yeah, they're doing great.
So, yeah, to see that develop in itself, see their success,
right.
all of us, again, the connections that we made. I'm still in touch with Leo. That's my heart.
Yeah, Leo's doing awesome too.
Man, Leo, oh my, and he talked about fashion back then.
He did. And was fashionable.
Yes.
He is.
I never seen no guy who loves Beyonce more than Leo.
Right. That's right. And his gifts are fully manifesting now. He's super talented.
Yes. And so it's amazing to see everybody in their gifting, their talents, their not stopping regardless. And to you, again, you could have been doing so much more today, but you did take the invitation to come on and express the love in your heart for what you do. And I know it's going to be successful. I know it's going to continue to be successful. And, you know, this multiple stream of income for you, where I know somebody else that I think they just opened some type of space. So I'm going to connect you guys with them.
Okay.
And see, it used to be a supervisor of mine at Toyota. Him and his wife has a space down there.
Fantastic.
And I'm trying to think of what the name of it is. But his name is Drew Blevins. And
yeah, it's called The Creative Place. And
there you go.
That's where I actually did an event there last February.
Isn't this a small world?
It is. And that's a phenomenal space. Now that has grown as well. So I'm really proud of what they're doing too.
Yeah, I'm trying to get them on the show. But yeah, so I know them. I know Drew.
Right.
And the whole time I was at Toyota, he was one of my supervisors. And so to see him married now and going forth, and I'm like, okay, that sounds like another connection right there. So
and let me say, Sean Sonye, right in that plaza where the Creative Place is, he just opened a daiquiri bar.
Wow.
It just keeps going. Yeah.
Wow. So again, I'm grateful to see you blossom. Eventually I might have to get Michael Jr. on here.
We'll see what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing.
But that was my little brother right there.
He'll be super glad to see you. I'll have to pull him in later, make him watch maybe the replay.
Yes, that was my little brother for sure. He would come to me for advice. I remember when the conversation came about him getting engaged and all of this stuff. I'm like, what? Wait, what? So that's
Right,
so how long ago that was.
right, right. We are grown.
And
Yeah.
I'm thinking he was just receiving his call to preach at that time.
Wow. Yeah, that's been some years ago then. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I remember I was like, boy, you supposed to be working. He was like, I'm working on this sermon. I'm like, what?
Look at both of y'all. Both of y'all now in ministry. That's amazing.
So yeah, that's funny. That was 2005, 2006. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. God puts together. Can't nobody do it like him. I don't even want his job. I say that all the time. I even, speaking out loud to him all the time. I'd be like, see, that's why you got, that's why. Because I can't even think how things are going to work that far out and all the connections and conversations and spaces to put people in to help succeed. Like, that's why he's God. He's amazing at what he does. And to see all of those things, that we thought were so common, so ordinary, we could have looked at it as just a job. And I'm sure we did for some time. But for that to kind of have been an incubator of so many different gifts and talents and purposes, and being able to put us in those spaces where we literally had to talk. We were speaking our purpose every day, and had no idea what it would manifest into. It's amazing. He's amazing.
Absolutely. So I know it's getting late. I don't have any more calls today, but I'm just grateful that we were able to talk. Somebody actually got to see you. Oh, before we get off. So
Okay.
I always ask this, what is your guilty pleasure?
My guilty pleasure these days, massages. Like, I don't know if it was the stress of the pandemic or what it was. I know after events, for sure. After an event, my whole body feels those days that I put in, especially feet. So I flinch now to make myself an appointment and get a massage, because just the stress emotionally, the stress physically, like, it's a full reset for me. So I had to find a way. If I don't save it and I make myself an appointment, that's a big one for me these days.
Well, that's good to know. Well, that should be, on a regular anyway, to, get the toxins and all of that good stuff to, have you relax. And that is good. My first year anniversary is in September.
Aw.
And I will be down in Tennessee.
Okay. What
part? Is it Cedarville? It's close to Pigeon Forge.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I might need you to help me with like, I don't want to say dinner reservations, but something special that particular day while I'm down there.
That sounds sweet. And congratulations to you. I followed your journey with your wedding and everything. And I didn't even know where you had relocated to. I didn't realize you were in Michigan. But yeah, that comes full circle. That helps me understand a lot about you, child, because you ain't play. Okay. Like,
listen, I had to the blue meant, listen, I did my own wedding.
I know. I watched your journey.
I was like, well, I kind of know, but I don't know, but we're going to figure something out. The place that we wanted to have it at said that they couldn't do guests. So what ended up happening, because of the pandemic,
right.
We were going to do a court wedding and the courts were closed. And so I'm like, okay, now I don't want to keep putting this off. And so we end up, you said, babe, let's go back to where it first began. It was on our block where we grew up on, and we end up getting married in his mom's backyard.
See, that's a blessing to have someone to even think of you and make that moment. But wait,
because nowhere else they were giving refunds. We couldn't have the spacing, and so we still limited our guests. But who was supposed to be there was there, and I think that the tipping of not just saying I do, but I was able to sing to him.
Yeah.
And he cried. He cried while I was walking down the aisle.
Yeah.
That we made. It was so awesome. And then when we went to go take pictures, it was like the sky parted. I kid you not. And on our pictures, it's like the sun rays are directly on us.
Stop.
And on the ground is 3 layers of rainbows around us.
Are you serious?
Kid you not.
Did you post them? I have to go back and see.
I think I did, but I might have to find the picture. Let me see. I printed out one of them, but it's like the sun, literally like it's a beam of light on us. And then on the ground is 3 layers of rainbows. And my sister said while I was singing to him, there were butterflies swarming.
Girl, did you need any more of a sign? I'm like, did you need anything else? Okay. Golly, that's amazing. Now you can't.
I mean,
people, don't hire me for that. I can't create rainbows and butterflies and sun rays, but I can do the other stuff. I love it.
Oh God, I was like, wow, he promised.
Yeah,
promised. And so I was like, you can't get no better than that. I mean, I got proof.
Wow. Yeah. And I'm so super proud of you. I remember when you were trying to find Camila and Camila didn't have this voice. And now your voice is fully present. Like you're here. And I know this is just the surface, but this in itself is such a difference from then. So just to, even though we have been disconnected for years and we've only had social media, like I see the change. I see the difference. And I remember when you said yes to him and you started to move in this way. And I'm so grateful to be here to see you manifest and you continue to grow too. I speak nothing but life and I expect nothing but greatness, honey. We are going forward. No other choice.
No other choice. We really don't.
Yes.
And it's amazing to me. And as we walk, lunching out of the boat. And one thing that got me the most about that that story was, I'm a fisherman. I already know how to do this.
Right.
But he said, nevertheless, Jesus, whatever you say, I'll do.
Yeah.
And so the direction God told them to go, they did.
Yeah.
When they lunched out, it was so big.
Almost took them out.
One more.
Couldn't even hold it all.
It was so big. They like, hey, come on over here. I can't hold this blessing to myself. I need all y'all to come and get this.
Yes.
So what got me, I ain't trying to preach, but what got me was that. And then they walked off. They never had to go fishing again. What?
Not ever again. From being obedient once. From saying yes once. Don't do this to me on Sunday. You already know. You know.
Oh my God. That right there. Whew. I'm saying we launched out not knowing, whatever hesitation we might have had.
Right.
I have something big coming right now that's on the table. Just when I'm like, I done hit the wall, lost a job, everything.
Right.
That don't worry about it. And don't worry. Send me your resume. And this is where your gifts will make room. Will. Don't know me from Adam. There's somebody I called to be like, can you come on and do a conversation with me?
Right.
This one right here, that's about to happen. I won't have to fish no more. Mm-hmm.
You know what? I don't know. I don't know what people need. I don't know why they don't serve them. I got to. I've had too many of them moments that you just described right there to not. And then when you get it and you get there and you see the ease of it, you look back like, why was I fussing and fighting?
Right.
I wasted so much time worrying, complaining, trying my way. The peace that comes with his way.
It's unspeakable. It's
is.
unspeakable. And I was talking to my mom before we get off. I was talking to my mom yesterday, and she said, Camila, I know, you like anxious and, you jittery, you like the kid in the candy store. Say, yeah. And she said, do you know what you say every time you get on your show? I said, yeah. She said, and she repeated it. You believe in 6 degrees of separation. You're one person away, one advice away, one help away from where you need to be in your destiny.
Right, right.
She said, you didn't believe what you said?
Come on, mama.
She said, wait, she said, you didn't believe what you said? Right. I said, yeah, but so you didn't believe it for yourself. Is that what you're saying?
Right. She's right.
I said, I didn't even put 2 and 2 together. I'm talking about people, other people. I'm not thinking about myself.
Yeah.
And she said, okay. So now sit back and enjoy.
That's how it works.
Yeah. So
that's how faith works.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So on this, as we say, Faith Sunday.
Okay.
We launching out into the deep, even into all the other manifestations that we done spoke, we done wrote, we walking it out in our heads. And when it comes to pass, it's like, wow, God, you do above.
Yeah. Even more. Even more.
I'm so, yeah. Before I start crying and messing up my beautiful makeup.
I love it. But be vulnerable. I mean, you got to show people it's a real thing. We're not out here talking about things that we don't do. We get up every day, we step out, and we don't know, and you spoke to something I've heard other people say. They said to me before, you make it look so easy. Even that's God.
Absolutely.
Because I'm living it every day, and I can tell you 100% it's not easy. So if it looks easy, it's because he's willing it to be so. He's making it so that it's true when you say you don't even look like what you go through. And that's why I have to turn it back to him. That's why I have to say, the balance, the things people ask me, the root of it all, I can give you the answer. But the root of it all really is God. It really, really is. It really is. So keep walking in and keep doing what you do for others. I think that's something that, we forget too. Our blessing does lie in what we do for others. Absolutely. So continue to connect people and watch God for you.
Absolutely. I'm so excited. I'm trying to sit on my couch and behave myself. Because like I said, I'm tearing up just, looking at you, having this conversation. And from here, we have no idea. Once it leaves, you could be getting a call from Italy. I don't know.
Could be.
I just talked to somebody from Italy yesterday. Who knows?
Wow, that's amazing.
So again, this is the easy part is, just start. If you don't hear nothing else that we said today, just start. Have faith, believe, and speak it and manifest. You are looking at 2 people that did just that, and God is doing whatever he wants to do, and we're just willing vessels to not only follow him but speak him up. Like, look, I can't do nothing without God. Nothing.
Not one thing. Not one.
I can't even put on this eyelash right here.
Take it off. So just take it off. Take it off, girl.
I can't do nothing. Girl, when they freed me from the wigs, Jesus.
Right? Whew.
Hallelujah.
Right.
I said, listen, y'all understand. I will take a wig off in a minute in service, and I have done it.
I like my hair for that reason. I said, I'm free. As soon as I did it, I was like, whoo, done.
But thank God that we are here, and hopefully somebody listen and get encouraged to just start. If you don't hear nothing else we didn't say today, just start and enjoy your journey.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Enjoy the journey.
Mm-hmm.
So, ma'am, I want you to enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Thank you. Thank you.
And of course, you know, the closer you get to your next event or the next launch, please let me know. I will definitely schedule you again to come on to bless the people. Hallelujah.
I appreciate you. As always, great. You many blessings to everything you got going on, and I believe exactly what you said. It's gonna blow your mind, and I'm just excited to still be connected.
Absolutely. Long as we got social media, and soon I'll be traveling, and so I'm definitely gonna hook up and find you and your brother.
Please do, and please be safe.
Miss Del,
she's nasty.
Yes, absolutely. I'm definitely going to do that. I have no choice.
Yeah.
I love you, girl.
All right, love you too.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
Hey, bye, y'all.